Hello and welcome. We have Janine back again. Janine, how are you?
Good. I'm really good, David. Good, good
That's
to
good.
good to see you.
Yeah, you too. You too.
Yeah,
I love your top. It's nice.
right on. Right on. Yeah. You got to do some purple.
Yeah, yeah. Although,
Yeah.
you know what's really interesting about all the all the things that we like, pizza and pasta and maybe the color purple, it's all kind of taboo in certain circles. So it kind of puts a dampener on things at times, I don't know, can't enjoy pizza anymore, you know what I mean?
You know what? Maybe we need to reclaim back all those things,
I agree. I agree.
right? We got to claim them back because they've been perversely, badly misused.
Hmm.
And we need to take them back in a healthy way. That's what I say.
Yeah, 100%
Yeah.
agree. So, what's the latest over in Canada at the moment?
The latest in Canada. Well, there's really big scandal with Trudeau's supposedly appointed all these houses or ways of housing people that came off international flights and sort of forced to what is that called?
Yep.
Isolate.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of situations where women are being sexually abused. I'll say it like that in these housings and or hotels,
Hmm.
and they're somehow blaming it on a policy that Trudeau put in place that has something to do with. So this is what I mean by something doesn't make sense. No locks allowed because they can
Wow.
bust in on you to make sure you're there.
Yeah.
So not allowing a lock on your door because they don't want you to leave, and it's creating unsafe situations, and it's being abused by, in particular, sort of security personnel in the hotel. And can you imagine?
That's really odd. That's really odd.
Like, it sounds so stupid that why would anyone, like, I would leave and never let someone keep me against my will, even if they give me a ticket, then take me to jail then, and we'll figure it out with my lawyer. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, why would anyone even stay in a situation like, I don't even can't even fathom it. I would have my friends come and bust me out of there, like, and
Mm.
bust some heads.
Yeah. Or you
Are
could
you
do the
kidding?
old.
So it almost sounds unreal. To me, it's like, how stupid do we have to be to even think that could be happening? And if it is, how are we even allowing it? Who's even allowing this? Who's going to let their people in a hotel go bust them out? It's ridiculous. If we're putting up with it and it's really happening, I don't know
Mm.
anyone that happened to. So I can't say for sure that's true. It seems like it's so crazy that it can't be true, but that the whole world seems like that right now.
Yeah. I think it's one thing after another, whether it's that situation or it's a whole new strain or it's like I'll show you something interesting in a second, which I still don't know what's going on. We can look into that. But it's like one thing after another where either it's completely false and they're doing it to either wake people up, or it's true and it's the exact same outcome is what they're looking for. Because if it is true, then people really need to question things.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's have a look at a few things here. We'll start off with the rollout because it would be cool if we could look at that and see if what the situation is, if it is being held up. As far as I know, I saw in the news yesterday morning, which brought a smile to my face. Actually, there was a lot of things in the news that made me smile, and I messaged you about some of them. So that was interesting. So if we could look at the
Okay.
whole
Let's
situation
look at
around
that.
that first.
The held up rollout. We'll look at that.
Yeah,
So where exactly was it held up? Did they make an excuse why it was held up?
I didn't see the excuse, but it was New South Wales, which is an eastern state.
Okay.
Yeah, where Sydney is.
Interesting. So I'm still getting the true operation is being done by more or less Alliance and White Hats, because remember this card? This is the one I get for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the situation around the rollout being held up. Okay, I'll just leave it down because it's so, my lights are too bright.
Yeah, it's easier if I could, if you leave them down.
Yeah, I'll just leave them down because you can see it. So we've got the 7 of Cups, which is smoke and mirrors. So the whole story about the V word looks like it's smoke and mirrors. So they might not even have one, or it's a placebo, or there's a bunch of things that could mean, or the idea that it's being held up. Something about the whole story is made up with when you get this card. Yeah. That's actually good news.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we've got the outcome is the King of Cups. So the real situation is covered up. So whatever you're hearing is a big made up story. The real situation is under deep kind of cover. Mm-hmm. And it looks like the real control is in the hands of the Alliance, at least where you are in the story we're talking about.
Okay.
So the Queen of Cups and the 2. There seems to be the holdup is for further negotiation. So there's some kind of negotiation going on between powerful people on the dark side and powerful people in the Alliance. And it's holding everything up, or it was planned already to be held up, because the whole V situation seems to be smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
I hope that's true. Why don't we look at the V situation? Can I call it that on your show?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at that around. Is that actually going to be administered?
Well, I've got a few questions here, so maybe we can look at these ones, which may give us the answer. Because
okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So the first one was our Prime Minister actually got it apparently, and I sent you the photo. So
yeah,
I
saw it.
The strange thing about that is that apparently he got the second one in the whole country, and the video I saw, there was a man that went before him, or he was sitting next to a man. He was wearing his coat at the time. He was sitting next to a man who got it, and then he left. No, sorry, let me start again. He was sitting next to a man. He had a singlet on, and then, like a wife beater.
Yeah.
And so the man got his, and then the PM got his. But in the newspaper, it said that there was an 80-year-old, 84-year-old woman who got the first one. And then he went second. So it doesn't make any sense. It's like, was it a man or a woman? And then, so apparently he got it. And I saw the video. The needle seemed to go in, but there's those needles that retract, that go straight into have you seen those?
Yep.
Yeah. So you don't even know if anything's really going in. So can we look at the fact whether he got it or not?
Think about Hollywood. Think about Hollywood when they do those, movies on hospitals and series like Grey's Anatomy. I'm sure they're using those needles, right? All kinds of trickery.
Well, you either see that, or people getting it with the cap still on, or the plunger's already plunged and it's nothing going in.
Yeah, or maybe there's nothing in the it's just a liquid of some, I don't know. It's all so crazy, but let's have a look at what actually were you watching? When you were watching what looked like him getting this, what was really going on? Was it authentic? That's what we're going to ask.
Well, it's funny actually you say that, because the newspaper said, I'm pretty sure I read this, it said it was a well-staged event. That's what it said in the newspaper. So it's pretty funny.
Okay, that's really interesting. Think about it. If the Alliance is in control, like I keep getting, they're telling you what's going on.
Yeah. It's not even a case of reading between the lines. It's a case of reading the lines.
Yeah. Awesome. So gossip and hearsay, gossip and hearsay. So the actual event was gossip and hearsay. I got a feeling he wasn't even there. Somebody else was, or somebody else. Like somehow, I wonder if you looked really up close. Was that his arm? Did it look like his arm? This feels
I don't
like
know.
the actual, like he might not have been there. This card's like somewhere else altogether.
So maybe a double, perhaps, or
A double, or somehow manipulated film footage, or
the strange thing about the film footage was that after they did it, they kept the camera on, and it was like a 4-minute video or something.
yeah,
And
weird.
the actual footage of him getting it supposedly was only about a minute or something. But they kept this video footage on, and then the
Yeah,
camera kind of went to a different part of the room, and it was placed onto the floor of the room, and people were talking, and I was like, it was really strange. If that was like a professional, uh, if that was, I would assume it's professional, like it was,
okay.
you know what I mean?
So I asked what was the purpose. So it doesn't look like he was there. Somebody else was, or the thing could have been manipulated, because there's a gossip and hearsay card around the situation. So it's only hearsay that he got it. In other words, I don't think he did. Now we've got the devil and the ace. So they're trying to trigger people to not believe the situation. So there's a triggering of people not believing and recognizing that mainstream media would actually do something like this. Seems fascinating
like
that
he didn't get it, you mean? Like there was.
yeah, he didn't get it. He wasn't there, or somehow it was manipulated because it's gossip and hearsay that he got it. So he didn't get it. And it looks like the whole thing was to rise consciousness up to get people going. That seemed something's wrong with this picture.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's like they're playing the same mind games, and it's like reverse from the deep state mind games that have been fooling us all this time, and the alliance is turning it all around and trying to wake us up with the same mind games. That's almost what it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
Which personally, I'm not really liking that. I think that they need to stop doing that.
Yeah, it's
just stop it and like tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah, I think I think we know why they're doing it as well, though, because they need people to. Yep. It's the same old thing. People need to see it for themselves to believe it, and if you don't see it, then you're not going to believe it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, and maybe they're doing it so they can further point out things and go, see, notice this, and then they'll show the film again and show people how they've been tricked.
Well, this next one will be really interesting. So apparently I'm not sure of the state, I think it might have been Queensland, but there were two people in old age homes who, or in one old age home, they got administered the inoculation by a doctor who, this is stupid, somehow managed to give them 4x the dose, both of them. And
4 extra doses?
4 times the dose in one shot. So,
oh my goodness!
And the story is that he wasn't trained in administering it, and so he didn't know what he was doing. But doctors are smart, you know what I mean? Like, how could you make that mistake? It's not like, it seems stupid to me. And so apparently he got stood down, and then there was another thing in the paper about his superior. I didn't read it, but something to do with his superior and how this actually goes much deeper than that. So have I given you enough information there to?
Yeah, we're going to look around those stories. Okay, so around those stories, like they're putting these stories out. You would think they wouldn't allow those stories to come out if that's true.
Exactly.
First of all, because people couldn't people sue? That I know they can't sue the big companies that make these things, because there's some kind of law in place, which I think is right away suspicious and ludicrous.
Mhm.
But they couldn't somebody to go and sue that doctor for doing that?
Yeah, for negligence or something, or malpractice, I'm
No,
sure.
they would never admit that
They went to hospital
ever.
too.
Like,
I don't know if they died or anything, but I'm not sure. So it's very interesting that that story hit the mainstream.
it is interesting. We got the moon card, so that's interesting. Somebody could pass over because of that, or they're trying to wake people up to how dangerous. You got people administering it that aren't. I feel like this is another story, though. This feels like another story. So there's some kind of agenda behind this, and it's about how dangerous the thing is. So not only are not to trust like that, I think they're trying to wake people up to the fact, something I've known forever actually, is that you can't trust doctors. Isn't that interesting? Think
Yeah.
about it. They're all connected to big pharma. I mean, there might be the odd good doctor, but I don't. I'm almost 60, and you could count on one hand how many times I've been to a doctor, and that's not kidding. I don't even have a doctor, actually, literally, because I get one for some situation 10 years ago, and then they don't work in the field anymore. They moved out of country, or by the time I think I might want to see them again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't trust them. They're only good at stitching you up and or like immediate things that
Emergency type
healers
stuff.
couldn't do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like setting your leg if it broke, or which doesn't happen to me, thank goodness. Touch wood. Do you know what I mean? So I literally don't go to doctors, and that's a fact. I don't trust them. I don't trust the whole industry, even if there's some good ones, and I'm sure there is, right? If they're even in the industry, they should know better. If they truly want to be healers, they should leave the industry. It's all controlled by big pharma. And if they don't know that, then they're not that bright. So why do you want to go to them? Do you know what I mean? And that includes nurses. There's all these, I have a beautiful sister who's a nurse, and she went into it because she has a loving heart and she's a good person, but it's all connected to big pharma. So they're administering drugs and they don't even know, like big pharma's killing us with those, but she would never see it that way. And that's not her intention. Okay. But it's still truly, the fact is that the whole cancer industry is an industry, and it's keeping people sick and on these medications. It's making them zillions of dollars. Like, so if you're even in the industry, people have to wake up. That industry is totally corrupt. So if you're in it, I don't care why you went into it, get the heck out of it. Do you know what I mean? Get out of it. And that's what it looks like here. It looks like they're trying to wake people up to think for themselves and not trust just anybody, to show you that that could happen.
Yeah.
Some fool could give you too much of something and you could die from it. Right. So like, to me, it's like they're trying to wake people up. It's just another way to wake people up.
Okay. It's interesting. Just one of the things you mentioned before is I've a lot of friends that are doctors, and one of them told me, this was about a year ago now, and he told me that in university, this is how indoctrinated the whole system is. This is how planned it is too. He said that in university, they told him that we would always be taken out by a virus. That would be the way that we would go.
Wow.
And when he said that to me, I was like, oh my God, like, can you get any more obvious? If you know what you know, it's pretty damn obvious. But for people that don't, it's like, oh yeah, that's quite, of course we'll be taken out by a virus, but that's how crazy it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, how about put some spiritual ideas onto that and recognize that if you're saying that verbally, assuming that and intending it, you're actually helping to create it. Like, it's like leaving out the whole, like my whole way of life. And the reason that I'm a really healthy, almost 60-year-old, I'm telling you, like I don't do doctors, I don't do hospitals. And I believe 100% in my soul that it's because I don't sit around fearing illness. And I'm absolutely brave. Like, not for 1 second do I buy into the fears around germs and even spiritually. So even if out there's some germ warfare, if I don't truly believe that I'm going to be affected by it personally, then I'm not going to. So that could sound ludicrous to some people, but I think we all got to move over there somehow, because I'm doing something right, because I don't get sick, and I don't intend to. Thank you very much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
we have
the mind
to
is
think
so powerful.
more spiritually about it.
The mind is so powerful. People have been, I heard a story about, and that's why placebos work. This is because of the power of the mind. So you don't need to be, I heard a story of a woman who was on a plane, and the plane was apparently supposed to be flying over where she used to live. And there was a certain plant or flower that she was allergic to. And then when she thought she was getting to the plane, which was nowhere near the plants, but she was flying over these plants, these flowers. When she thought she was about to fly over them, she started breaking out in hives and everything. And then she found out that they were nowhere near that place. So that's just how crazy, that's how powerful the mind is.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Fear is our biggest enemy, fear. And they're keeping us, so they being, these agendas are keeping us in the mainstream media. The tool of the agenda all over the world is keeping everybody in absolute fear, heightened fear. So everybody's weak. They're weak. If they're fearing, they're weak.
Yeah, I've heard stories of people when it broke out last year, of people literally wearing masks in their houses and muttering to themselves, I mustn't get it. I mustn't get it. I mustn't get it. Like, you're going to get it. Like, even if you don't get it, you're going to get something if you've got that kind of mentality. Yeah. So did those two questions, the things we looked at, did that answer what we wanted to look at before with the whole?
Well, it looks like the whole agenda of these things happening are to wake people up. Both of those things look like stories to wake people up. Because
if that's true, and I've listened to a few different people, and certain people say there is no V, or there is one, and it's actually not that bad. But I've seen so many accounts and videos of people, or photos of rashes and people with uncontrollable body movements and things like all the same kind of body movements. And I'm wondering, is there a bad one out there, and it's being given to some people?
That's like
because that's
just to wake people up.
Well, not that, but maybe the DS have actually put out a bad one, and to push their plans, but it's not working out like they wanted to.
The High Priestess, the 3. Oh, there's definitely a deadly one out there. You're right. There's absolutely a deadly one.
Because some people are dropping dead minutes after, 20 minutes after.
Yeah, there's a deadly one out there. Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because, it's not funny, but it looks like it affects people differently. So it would depend on the person. So it's not going to kill everybody. But certain people with certain, and who knows what exactly, things have to be in a certain, like maybe there's something to do with their sort of biology mixing with this thing.
Sure.
So it's sort of designed to attack a certain kind of person somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I know somebody whose dad. I know someone whose dad got two doses, and he's fine. But they also say, there was a doctor, I can't remember her name, but she was saying that it might not be till about 4 months that we start seeing some real, reactions with this thing. So we've still got a few months to go until we start seeing some.
Yeah, it feels like, when I'm pulling more cards there, it feels like in about 3 to 4 months, like you say, months from now, you're going to see a real account of numbers. And I'm feeling like about half the people that take 1 out of 3. So there's There's 3 different ones that are showing up in my cards
Mhm.
that are made by the bad guys. So I don't know what I mean by that. And I don't know how many companies are making these things, which is
Quite a
ludicrous
few.
if you think about it,
It's quite a few. I think at
right?
least 4. At least 4, I think.
Okay, so
Yeah.
some of them are either placebos or they're not dangerous. Like some people say that one of them is actually a flu shot,
I've heard that. Yeah.
and it might be the one Mr. T speaks up about, but I don't know for sure. But there's 3 bad ones, and about 50% of the batch would be very lethal, but not to everybody.
Sure.
Very
Okay.
specifically targeting. I don't know what they're targeting, but they're targeting a certain kind of biology in people, I guess, is the way I want to explain it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. At least we know. Well, at least you know not to get it. It doesn't matter. You know, you don't want to roll the dice. I would say
Yeah,
wait
no
until
way.
the whole thing is over, I suppose. And
Yeah. Maybe we should ask that, like when, like we need to look again at when does this get exposed, because this is dangerous for people.
yeah.
Do you want to look at that?
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
I'm personally ready for the movie to end.
Me too. Me too. It's
Okay,
seems
already
like
we
it's
got really
seems
good.
like it's dragging on a little bit.
Yeah,
movie.
we got some good news though. So 10s are endings in tarot. 10s are endings, okay, and the death card. So been a long, dragged out. So there's an ending absolutely in sight. So the thing ends. So the movie will end.
Yeah.
That's good news. And it's already at the end. So we're at the end. So we've got the Queen of Swords here in the past. Queen of Swords. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. So it's working itself. There was all these agendas that had to work themselves through. 2, yeah. So we're looking at a little more time. Could be days or weeks, but it's not very long.
Okay.
And the next really big thing that'll really end it is about the mains. So the very last piece is when the mainstream media gets it truly exposed, which we're all waiting for that.
Uh-huh.
Like that's a necessary thing, because that's how they're even doing any of this, is the mainstream media.
I want them to come out and say, we've been lying to you. That's how I want it to go down. I don't want, I don't know how they plan for it to go down, but I want them to almost as if it's like Ron Burgundy, where he reads the teleprompter and he doesn't know what he's reading. I want it to be like that, where they read the teleprompter and then literally admit to us worldwide that they've been lying to us for however long they've been. That's what I want.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Keep visualizing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I am getting, though, that there's celebration coming very soon, but it won't say exactly when. And, a lot of the truthers are saying it's like they know something. They went to that meeting, a bunch of them, and they came back from the meeting. And then some of them, like Simon Parks I just watched Simon Parks, and he said they have to really, we're all being really watched, all the truthers channels. And we have to be really careful, because they can't give dates even remotely, because the dark cult deep state is watching really closely, because they're in the dark truly about everything. And they've ran out of, they don't have ways they used to know, how to find things out, and all of that's been cut off for them. Sure. Which is good news. Yeah. But that we're being watched. So all of the truthers are being very, very careful, and not really, you might have noticed that if you're watching all the channels, they're not really saying anything except, we got this. This is a done deal. This is going to get cleared up. March is going to be amazing. A whole bunch of things happened in February. A lot of them we didn't see, unfortunately, so literally.
Mm.
But yeah, so they're all of them are saying that same tune.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and something even on the 28th is supposed to happen. I believe Mr. T is talking in public on the 28th, which is really interesting because politically something really interesting is happening. Well, you heard about what happened at the White House under dark and cover, and there's a bunch of footage of it that this guy named the cowboy. I can't remember what his.
The guy that was the guy with the head, with the ears, with the horns, or
no, he wore a big cowboy hat, and
okay.
He was filming. He lives in DC, and I just can't remember his name. But anyway, he put out several videos where he literally got footage of these huge darkened, so they're big tour buses, and there are many of them.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah,
15 or 20 of them, and they're huge. Like they could fit 150 people each, kind of thing. And they had all darkened windows, which a lot of the tour buses have. And they were all leaving. And before that, there were people coming out of the front sort of doors of the White House. And the people, it's quite far away. So you just see that there's obviously military people and much shorter people. So that they're thinking children. Mm-hmm. So apparently there was all of these children underneath the White House in the tunnels, okay, because there's a lot of tunnels under there. And it was a horrifying thing. A whole bunch of body bags also got shipped there, and people were filming, like literally warehouses full of body bags, and they were all going to a certain location, and an employee filmed it and put it on TikTok and was like wondering why all the body bags to one location. This seems ludicrous. And they are saying that they were cleaning out these tunnels, and most of the humans in there didn't make it. But the ones that did, they put them on these tour buses. And there were like 10 or 15 tour buses in the video. Okay. And there was video footage of it. And from this truther who's not mainstream media. So it seems to me it's legit. And also got video footage of these children coming out with these. So some of the kids made it.
That's why they have to do it at night, because they and have
they can't handle the light, apparently.
Yeah. Apparently the tunnels under DC made the Australian tunnels look like a playground.
Right.
And the Australian ones were bad. They were terrible. So yeah.